Hi guys, this is your boy at the corner, Henry's Corner. Now today we'll be talking about the resurrection of the dead. If you check Matthew chapter 22 verse 23 to 32, and if you check 1 Corinthians 15, 12 to 20, during the dispensation of Jesus Christ here on earth, Matthew 22 verse 23 to 32 make us to know that the Sadducees did not believe in the resurrection of the dead, and so they brought a conspiracy theory to Jesus in order to mock resurrection. So they came with a story. Since they did not believe in resurrection, so they came with a tale that, assuming a man, there is a family that consists of 7 brothers. The elder married as a wife. One thing leads to the other. The elder did not give back before he died. The second marrying the same woman till the 7th one. Now their question was, at the resurrection day, who will now marry the woman? So, and we know Jesus replied that they did not know the scripture, neither did they know the power of God. That at resurrection, that there is no marriage at resurrection. So this is Sadducees that are questioning Jesus about the doctrine of resurrection, since they did not believe in resurrection. So now, if you come to 1 Corinthians 15, 12 to 20, there is another church, another religious set of group of individuals that did not believe in resurrection, to the extent that they did not believe in the resurrection of Jesus Christ. So those are the class, the group of people Paul was addressing in 1 Corinthians 15 verse 12 to 20. So Paul was now verse 16, verse 17, verse 18 to 19. He was now telling them that if they claim that the resurrection is not real, then that our faith is void. Fine. Now, some preachers has now took, some so-called religion preacher has now took this particular scripture that resurrection is greater than the death of Jesus Christ. And personally, I believe that is a lie from the pit of hell. You see, the God of the Bible, the God we served, is a God of orderliness. If you check or look at creation, if you see how God creates the heaven and the earth, even before he creates man, you will see orders. You see steps. He's not a confused God. He's God of order. So now you coming out preaching using 1 Corinthians 15, saying that the resurrection of Christ is greater than the death of Christ, is a fallacy from the pit of hell. See, this is it. If Christ was not born, will he die? If he didn't die, will he resurrect? So there is none that is greater than one another. His birth, his life, his suffering, his death, his burial, his resurrection, his ascension, his glorification, and his second coming to reign as king over we the kings. None is greater than each other. It is a due process. It is a due order. There is order. One have to come before the other. Without the pregnancy, can we have the baby? Will you now say the baby is greater than the pregnancy? Or will you now say the pregnancy is greater than the baby? It is orderliness. So if Christ was, if he was not his birth, if he wasn't if Christ did not come, that is his birth, will he have a life? Will he suffer? Will he die? Is impossible. So it is a stage by stage, a step by step, an order. This order has to come before the order. See, I believe you see this religion or church, the so-called church of this nowadays, we all are full of, we have been indoctrinated by one generation to the other, and this error, this teaching, this wrong teaching is what some of us has been carrying for more than 20 to 40 years. Garbage in, garbage out. Now come to think of it, we all, imagine you have been taught one thing, one teaching for over 20 to 30 to 40 years, and someone now came and now told you that you see this teaching that you have been taught for over 30 to 40 years, that is not the truth, is not the truth of the gospel, or is not right. It will be easy for you to assimilate the truth. You have feed your mind, feed your thought, feed your orientation, feed your belief on a wrong teaching for over 20 to 30 years. So you don't expect the truth of one day to undo what that 30 years and 40 years of wrong doctrine, wrong teaching has been, to undo that wrong doctrine or the wrong idea, your wrong belief. So, which is why, just like imagine you have been living a life for a consistency of about 20 to 40 years, and somebody now say that there is time for you to change. The change is very, very important, and you can't fight change. You can't fight change. Take it or leave it. But the fact is, it will not be easy for you to change easily because of what you have believed, what you have been taught for the past 30 to 40 years, which you believe that is the truth, and is error. And I do say in some of my video, or one of my video, that we human being, we learned the wrong thing well. So say that even when the truth come, for us to adjust, we find it difficult, we fight it, tooth and nail, this and that. But that's not where I'm going. This is where I'm going. The birth of Jesus is not greater than his life. Neither is life greater than his suffering. Neither is suffering greater than his death. Neither is death greater than his burial. Neither is burial greater than his resurrection. Neither is resurrection greater than the ascension. Neither the ascension greater than the glorification. Neither the glorification greater than the second coming. But we can see orderliness, and this God we serve, there is a purpose for everything. There are benefits. In his birth, we have victory. And imagine the supernatural comes into the natural. Okoja oyewa is beyond our reasonable thoughts or reasonable doubts. It's beyond our mental or it's beyond what we can just comprehend easily. That is to say, but in his death, in his birth rather, we have joy, and we have victory, we have wonders. So imagine even his growth. The Bible says he grew in wisdom and in knowledge and in favor before man and God. See his life. He said in John that the praise of this world cometh unto me, and find nothing in me. So his life, there are benefits to his life. We see victory over sin, we see healing, we see miracle, we see so many things. We see he was correcting the wrong indoctrination, he was correcting the religion. Then his suffering, we see healing in his suffering. Then what about his death? He conquered death. Without his death, without his death, how will those that have died before him, how will they resurrect? Then we see his burial. We see how wonderful his burial was. All these are very, very significant into our lives. What about his resurrection? Oh, it is classic. The fact of the matter, he has to die before he resurrected, before he resurrected. And because he resurrected, you can't tell me that resurrection is greater than his death. No, one have to come before the other. After he resurrected, it was wonder. See, he said, he was in John or in Matthew. Before he ascended, he said he breathed his spirit upon his disciple. Then, see his ascension, classical. See his glorification, seated at the right hand of God. The right hand, the place of majesty, the place of power. What about and he's coming, his second coming, he's coming to reign as king over with the king. So it is very, very classical. Not that the resurrection is overpower his death. No, you can't point to a Bible verse. Paul was emphasizing the benefit of resurrection in 1 Corinthians 15. Verse 12 to 20. Not that Paul was saying that his resurrection was greater than his death. Neither his resurrection was greater than his birth. This is where I will be hanging out. Peace out.